It's really hard to gauge the vibe right now regarding Summer Game Fest. I don't really know how people are feeling about this thing. I really don't know how people are feeling about with just gaming in general right now. I feel like we've been in kind of a weird space lately. There's been a lot of bad news in gaming, a lot of horrible news in gaming, to be honest with you. And I thought that Sony would kind of put those worries to bed, but not quite. Obviously Astrobot looks incredible, but yeah, let's just say Sony left some stuff to be desired. I think that Summer Game Fest might be able to fill that gap a little bit. Just to be clear, the games that I'm about to talk about aren't necessarily confirmed to be there. Some of these have been kind of rumored. Obviously, we have the sheet that Keighley put out of all the publishers and developers that are going to be there. It says Wave 1. I don't know. We have not gotten like a Wave 2 yet. I have not seen another image with more companies on them, but there's some companies here that do pique my interest. So let's dive in. Obviously, there's a lot of publishers and studios on this sheet, and I'm sure there's going to be some surprises. I'm sure that this isn't all of them. Like I said, it says Wave 1. There's probably more that are involved, and I'm not going to go through every single publisher and company here because, frankly, I haven't even heard of some of these companies, to be real with you. However, seeing Bokeh Games here gets me very excited. Bokeh Games is a lot of OG people from Konami, a lot of OG people that worked on like Silent Hill 1, the original Silent Hill 2, a couple of other amazing horror games, I believe Siren, just a lot of people that have been in the industry for quite some time, and they've been kind of buzzing around a little bit over the last couple of years about this new game, Slitterhead. They have their own YouTube channel, and they've been talking about the game, hyping it up. One of the things that they said in one of their videos, and this isn't like a direct quote, it's been a little while since I've watched this video, but basically they were kind of lamenting on the fact that back in the day, we were able to just make games on a whim, make decisions about these games on a whim. You know, it's like, do you want to just put a door here? Yeah, let's just do that. And they said that the industry's not really that way anymore. It's not as free form. You can't just do whatever you want. And that's why they started Bokeh Games, is that now that, you know, it's their own studio, they can afford to make those decisions themselves. And that sounds amazing. We have seen a trailer for Slitterhead before. It looks weird. It looks gross. But again, the talent that is on board gets me incredibly excited. I've been just dying for more Silent Hill-esque horror games. And honestly, the Silent Hill remake isn't quite grabbing me as much as I thought it would. So Slitterhead is like one of my most anticipated games right now, if I'm being real with you. I've streamed and played through all of Silent Hill 1, all of Silent Hill 2, not 3 because the port was just so unbearable, all of Silent Hill 4, and I'm just dying for more Silent Hill. And I'm dying for more Silent Hill 1 vibes. Silent Hill 1 is one of my favorite games ever made, if I'm being real with you. And it kind of looks like they might be capturing that magic here. I'm down for just some good old-fashioned Japanese horror magic. It's been a little while. There's not many other studios that are in this field. I mean, Kojima kind of messes with it. Obviously, I dream of the day that PT can come back and we can get a proper Silent Hill sequel, proper Silent Hills, but that's never going to happen. So, Slitterhead, it's a video game that's going to be spooky, and it's from an amazing team, and I'm very, very excited for this trailer. It's going to be weird. Get ready. That's going to be the trailer where you're like, what the fuck is this? And it's definitely that kind of game. I think that is a good way to add diversity to your show. I think it makes the show more interesting and fun, and gets a lot of fun reactions out of people. So I hope it's gross. I hope it's even weirder than the last trailer, and I hope we see some gameplay. I hope we see some gameplay. I hope we see some wicked monsters. I want to see some combat. I want to know what this game is like. What are we doing in this game? What's the story? It looks like there's some weird like prison city situation going on. I have no clue. Like I said, one of my most anticipated games. I'm dying to see more. Good get for sure. And speaking of crazy horror games, Remedy, the studio behind Alan Wake and Control, recently changed the name of their company, on Twitter at least. They are now known as Poison Pill. and they have a new logo and everything, and I don't really know what's going on. The original company name is Remedy. This company is called Poison Pill. Remedy, Poison. That kind of makes sense, I guess. I'm guessing we're going to get some Alan Wake DLC, and my goodness gracious, if you have not played Alan Wake 2, do yourself a favor. If you've ever been a fan of Resident Evil 4, Resident Evil 2, or even Silent Hill 1, 2, 3, or 4, you're going to have a good time with Alan Wake 2. It is a fabulous video game that I just beat recently. I streamed a whole playthrough of it. Just had an absolute blast throughout the entirety of the game. Visually, one of the best looking games ever made. I think I can safely say that. Just one of the best looking games, and the performances, Alan Wake as a character, and Mr. Door and Sam Lake, just everything about that universe, everything about those characters, I'm just absolutely into. And the game does, no spoilers, but it does kind of end a little cliffhanger-y, I guess. It's a little ambiguous at the end, and there's I mean, I'm assuming that they're making an Alan Wake 3, but there is room for DLC. They've done this before. Remedy loves their DLC. They've done DLC for pretty much every one of their games of recent memory. Maybe not Quantum Break, but definitely Control, and I definitely see it happening with Alan Wake as well. Maybe we get to play as Jesse Faden. Maybe we get to see what she's up to. Jesse Faden being the main protagonist from Control, and there has been some crossover between those two games. So yeah, I'm way in, man. I really am. I love the vibes of Alan Wake. I love Remedy. I love Sam Lake. Pretty much anything that this studio touches, I'm there. I'm going to be there no matter what. So yeah, very much looking forward to seeing whatever Poison Pill is going to be showing off during Summer Game Fest. And they keep doing the eye emojis, man. They keep putting eye emojis all over Jeff Keighley's tweets, and it's driving me crazy. I cannot wait to see it. Very much looking forward to it. And speaking of horror games, we also have Capcom, dude. They're on the list. They're there. Capcom coming hot off the heels after the State of Play showing off Monster Hunter Wilds. That game looks like a gift to mankind, if I'm being honest with you. Yeah, they're going to be at Summer Game Fest, and there's been a lot of rumblings and a lot of rumors circulating around. Go follow Dusk Golem on Twitter. Is link in the description. Just go follow him, because there's tons of stuff and tons of info that I can't fully get into, but basically RE0 and Code Veronica are getting remakes. I don't know if these are one singular package. Is it Resident Evil 0 and / Code Veronica, or is it two separate games? Are these going to be announced simultaneously? Are they going to be released in the same? I have no clue. Lots left in the air, but apparently those games are happening. There's also been rumors of Resident Evil 9. Apparently it's been pushed back further into 2025, like late 2025 or even 2026, whereas RE0 or this Code Veronica remake are going to happen a little more early. Usually they like that January spot, that February spot. Seems very likely. It's been a little while since we've had a romp through Resident Evil, and like I said before, I'm a pretty big horror fan here on this channel. I absolutely love Resident Evil. I love pretty much everything they did in Village. Big fan of Resident Evil 4 remake. I've never played through Resident Evil 0. I own it on GameCube, and I've never touched it. I have no clue what Code Veronica is. Is Veronica a person? What's the code? What's going on there? Yeah, I mean, I look at these characters and I'm like, holy shit, I cannot wait to see them in the RE engine. I cannot wait to see this guy in the RE engine. Who is this dude? Is he cool? Are these good video games? Comment below, are these good video games? Are these like the shitty Resident Evil games, or are these like held in high regard? I've heard some good things about Code Veronica, but haven't really heard too much about Zero. Maybe I'm just out of the zeitgeist there. But again, I'm so into Resident Evil right now. I'm just so in. So I'm dying for a new game. I'm dying for this Code Veronica remake. And I don't know. There's no way they're going to announce Code Veronica remake, Resident Evil 0 remake, and a Resident Evil 9. Like, that's lofty. Come on now. That ain't happening. But we shall see. And obviously, Capcom has a bunch of other stuff under their belt as well. What about Pragmata? It's been a while. What's going on with that video game? What the fuck even is that video game? We have no clue. Is it a Strand game? It's kind of looking like a Strand game. I don't really know, but I would love to see more of that. Obviously, Street Fighter 6 pretty hot right now. It's about time for that next reveal of characters. I'm ready for the next season. I'm excited to see who's coming. I hope it's Dudley, but I could also see like a big trailer that. I mean, I don't know. Evo is coming up. I imagine they saved that for Evo. That's just kind of how Capcom works, but maybe they show off one character and then at Evo they show off 2 others that are coming, or at least like the silhouettes of those characters or whatever, or maybe you know what I mean? Like Capcom, it's usually like staggered announcements with their season passes. All I know is Capcom is one of the best Japanese studios in the business. Square Enix wishes. Sega wishes. A lot of other Japanese studios wish they could be Capcom right now, and to be in this position, to have all of these games that people were just incredibly hyped and excited for, that's special, man. That's real special. We don't take the time to appreciate how great Capcom is. Let's get real. Hats off. Hats off to Capcom. Whatever they end up showing at Summer Game Fest, regardless, hats off. Good job, guys. You guys rule. Sega. Yeah, they're going to be there too. Look, Sega, they got some stuff in the pipeline, man. During the Game Awards, they showed off a few of their upcoming super games, right? They were saying some wacky shit during one of their earnings calls that they have this super game in development, or the super game is like a hub for all of these smaller games. I look at this trailer, this montage, I wouldn't even really call it a trailer. This montage of titles, and some of them do look really good. Like, don't get me wrong. Some of them look like fun games to play, but I don't know, man. I'm not sold yet. I mean, look at this Jets. I'm a huge Jet Set Radio fan. I got beat right over here as a duck. Come on. Big Jet Set Radio fan, and I don't know if I'm buying this, man. It could be great. It really could. I've heard rumors that it's a remake of the original Jet Set Radio. Oh, okay. I guess. I don't know. It looks like it's an Unreal Engine 5. I don't know. I'm not feeling the vibes. There's a new Shinobi game as well. Looks okay, but man, like these kinds of games, these like side scrollers, like Prince of Persia just came out. And I don't know. I don't know if I'm getting excited for another 2D side scroller. There's a ton of 2D side scrollers out right now. Crazy Taxi. I don't know if there's a single human being on Earth that is interested in a lot of these IP. Like, these are all old and dusty games that I'm a fan of. Again, like I mentioned, big Jet Set Radio fan. I like Crazy Taxi a lot. Shinobi's cool. Golden Axe, I can take it or leave it, to be honest with you. But I don't know. They're going to have to show off. These games need to be good, is what I mean. And I think it's time. I think it's at least one of them. Like, show me Jet Set Radio. What is this game? Like I said, I've heard it's a remake of Jet Set Radio 1, but before that, I remember hearing that it was going to be a live service game. We're going to be dropping in Shibuya-cho with the boys. I think that's kind of the energy that they want with this game. And I don't know. I need a clear vision of what they're trying to do. Everything's just kind of nebulous right now. I've heard stuff from investors. I've heard stuff, in their investor meetings, I should say. I've heard rumors. I've heard leaks. I'm ready to get the story straight. I'm ready for Sega to set things straight and say, hey, this is what this game is. These are what these games are. There's also Sonic. What's going on with Sonic? It's the year of Shadow. We got a Sonic movie coming out soon. We got that Generation Shadow game. Is that it? Is that all we're getting? I've heard some rumblings about a new Olympic game, Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games. Maybe we'll hold that off until the Direct. I'm not sure. I'm always, I'm game for Sonic. I'm into Sonic, but I'll be honest, a lot of Sega's IP, a lot of Sega's games just have not been grabbing me as much as they should. So, like I said, Sega needs to get on that stage and say, shut up. Let us just show you these excellent looking video games. I'm ready to be sold. I'm ready to be sold on Sega. What about Persona 6? What if that happens? That would be a huge, big deal. That would be a big Keighley get right there. P6. There's logos that are out for the game right now. Codenames coming out next year. I forgot to mention that. I forgot to mention that. Obviously, there's a lot of other miscellaneous games that are probably going to show up. PlayStation's going to be here. What have they got going on? I know we're going to see Phantom Blade Zero. They've been retweeting Keighley's stuff. I'm down for some more Phantom Blade. I'm guessing that's coming out this year. That could be a good like November release for PlayStation alongside Astrobot and their VR efforts. Like I actually think that kind of gives PlayStation a decent, solid year. I don't know if I'm super interested in that game, but it could be really good. I'm down to see more. There's also been some rumors going around. I don't even know if I should fucking say this. There's been some rumors going around about a Lego Horizon game. I'm just going to leave that there. I'm not trying to, make any scoops here. I'm not trying to, I've heard that on Reddit, and it's in the grapevine. People have been talking. Things are crazy right now. Lego Horizon? What the Look, there's going to be a lot of games at Summer Game Fest. There's going to be a ton of indies that we don't even know about. I'm hoping and praying, like Longshot, I'm hoping and praying that we get to see Pearl Abyss's DokeV. Pearl Abyss is not listed in any of the companies on this sheet, so it's a little unlikely, but holy moly, I want to see more of that game. I'm dying for it. But again, probably unlikely. There's a lot of other things that could show up, a lot of surprises. I'm pretty excited about this show. Do I think it's going to save gaming? Do I think that Keighley is going to just show up and save the day? Probably not. But if you're a gamer like me, if you care about video games, I think you'll find a few things that you're going to want to play at this show. So definitely tune in. Better yet, tune into my live stream. I'm going to be live reacting to this show with my good friend Phenom Sage. It's tradition. I got to do it. It's going to be a great time, and I hope to see you there. Comment below. Give me your predictions. How are you feeling about this show? Again, I know Summer Game Fest isn't typically a super hype, bombastic show, but there's always something good there. There's always something to hang on to. So what are you looking forward to seeing? What do you think is going to be there? Comment below. Let's talk about this thing. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for making me a part of your day. And until next time, party on.